There's two. Today we're going to work on getting the catch can installed. I've been waiting on some fittings because the fittings that come with the Mishimoto catch can are all 1/2 inch, and I actually needed a 3/8 inch as well as a 3/4 inch. So those are all in. I've got all the tubes and everything that I need to actually get this thing in and on the car. But first I want to show you where everything hooks up. We're looking at this fitting right here. This is a black box delete. There's normally what is colloquially called a black box on the back of the engine block here, right next to the oil filter. And this is part of the pressure control, the PCV system. So it helps to ventilate pressure from the crankcase while filtering out a little bit of the oil so that hopefully some of it doesn't get into the intake. Normally it's a big old system that takes up a lot of room back here, and this is a nice, clean, simple way to get rid of it. Our next piece is on top of the valve cover here. This normally hooks up to the intake tubing right before the throttle body, or just before the throttle body. But we're going to shoot both of these, the delete fitting there as well as this fitting, into the catch can. So I'm going to mount our catch can here. As you can see, I've put some different fittings on this. I was able to retain one of the Mishimoto fittings. This is a 1/2 inch. This is a 3/4 inch that I have a little plug on, and this is a 3/8 inch that I have a little plug on, and this is a 3/4 inch. So this big old -12 AN fitting there is going to hook up to this. So this is an in. This guy here is also going to fit to this 1/2 inch in, and then our 3/8 out is going to go on this fitting on the intake tube pre-turbo, so that it's always under vacuum. So I think we're going to mount this bad boy right about there. It's going to be a tight fit, but I think we'll be able to finesse all the tubes around everything else in here. So let's get this thing mounted and on here. I'm actually going to be mounting this catch can right back here, which is where the old charcoal canister and the original OEM charcoal canister sat. Here's that setup. Here's that setup. So this is a charcoal canister and all sorts of sensors and solenoids that allowed the HF to recirculate vapors from the gas tank, store them, and reburn them in the intake. So I don't know exactly how, but mounted something like this. So obviously this takes up a whole bunch of room, and it's pretty much a race car, so we don't need this. So I've got the holes marked here. I'm just going to center punch them. so that we can get a good the drill bit in there nice and easy. And there's two. Oh, mother. Always be sure to drop something. Every time you work on a car, you have to drop something under the car. It is vital. Alright, so I drilled both of these holes to just about right. The screws that were included with the catch can are self-tapping, so I drilled them a little bit under. They're 7 millimeters, so I'm going to see if I have a 7 millimeter bit that will plug into the drill, because I don't want to do that by hand. Well, it might be 7 mil, it might be 9/32. Either way, it fits. Alright, so this is the fitting that's going to go on the back of the block, on that black box delete. It's a big old fitting, so I'm going to try and get this angled right. Just snug that up. So we're going to run here to here, here to here, and here to here. So I used Pegasus Racing to get these tubes and some of these fittings and all sorts of stuff. These tubes are all oil rated, coolant rated, vacuum rated, so they should be a good match for what we're using them for. Oh. That's going to be a tight one. Hey.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wife making sure I wasn't dead. She's so sweet. Now, of course, having a bend this tight is not ideal by any means. Working with fairly limited space here in the CRX engine bay. It's not a giant engine bay. It's also not tiny. It's not like we have a 350 Chevy in here or something. Our intake manifold's here. Throttle body is going to be right about here, somewhere in this area. And then we've got intercooler piping right here. Probably run under the intercooler piping. Yeah, something like that's going to work. So I got a whole bunch of extra hose on all of these because, you know, didn't want to come up short and have to reorder longer hose. We'll cut a little long if we have to shorten it up later. That's going to be fine. Better than cutting it too short and not having enough. So we've got these massive scissors. These are actually sheet metal scissors that I used for our radiator shroud build, which you can see in a video somewhere. But I think they'll be great for cutting this big old hose. There are better tools for this, but I don't have them. Boom. And we've got this guy to cut. Maybe the other way. Should have put some dish soap on this before trying to put it on, because this is tight. It doesn't want to go on. So that's as far as I was able to get this on. Still a little bit of space here, unfortunately. There's that much engagement. There are 3 barbs, and it's overall 3. So I don't think this thing is coming off, especially after we put some clamps on it. And these aren't just standard worm clamps. They've got, if you can see, they've got an inner liner all the way around, so you don't have hose sticking through here. The worm gear is not going to chew up the hose. So we are rubbing a little bit here on the fuel filter. I will be replacing this fuel filter because this is God knows how old. It's just a little bracket on here that's rubbing. On the new one, I'll be sure to take this off so that we have a little bit more clearance. Let's get this sucker on too though, because hell, why not? Probably gonna have to change that routing. We'll get a little bit more stuff on here, but for now it's gonna have to work. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Not hating that. That's where I'm gonna call it for the night. I'm not forgetting this one. Just go straight across like this. But we don't have the intake tube mounted up yet. So that will be for a later day. Stay safe, keep wrenching.